Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to the MMA Short Show. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. And I just had to take a time out real quick and just, shout out every single one of you that have been commenting, been shouting me out, have been following me for however long. It means the absolute world to me. And, if you guys have been watching, I'm sure I'm a broken record with it. But, one of my least favorite things about YouTube, I hate all these people that are always out there. Oh, please subscribe, like, whatever, share, comment, all these, put the notifications on. I hate that stuff, man. If you're going to watch me, you're going to watch me. If you're not, cool. Keep going and do your thing. I'll never be one of those people thirsty for views and whatnot. I just like coming on here and discussing my favorite sport. And if you guys are out there like me, I got plenty of friends, but just not many of them that know MMA the way that I think I know it. So it's nice to sit down here and talk to you guys and, pretty much just ask questions that I got in my own head and kind of talk through them. And if you guys comment, like whatever it is, it's awesome. And I'm pretty sure I just hit over like 600 subscribers. And as somebody who never even thought they'd get 6 subscribers, it means the absolute world to me. And I'm just doing this, man, until the wheels fall off. It's a lot of fun. And thank you to everybody who's been on part of it, or whatever you guys want to call it, a journey, whatever you may call it. But we're just going to be sitting here talking about my favorite sport and talk about the topics I want to talk about. And, hopefully you guys want to comment back and everything. But let's get into today's video, man. Last week I had a great discussion with all of you who commented, and I appreciate it, sharing your opinion and whatnot. And, I was just looking with, 2 fight nights that are kind of mediocre last week and this week. I wanted to sit there and look at the rest of the schedule and all these huge title fights and title implications and arguably, 2 division champions, 3 division champions, so many things on the line. And I wanted to say, who had the most to lose as a, UFC champion. And, this past fight night was just watching the whole Rose fight and Tracy Cortez and everything, watching the fight card, and all these videos came pouring out where I'm pretty sure most of you watched it, and I'll have it up now. But, the Spanish, commentary team, accidentally announced the Sphere, fight card and announced that it's going to be Aaliyah Tapura, Max Holloway, and Sugar Sean O'Malley and Marab. And, everybody's getting excited. And then, I think yesterday, Ariel Helwani, reported, like, put it all out what it's going to be. And I'm pretty sure the UFC is doing this now just because, the Spanish, commentary team and UFC does this all the time. If they're not the first ones to announce a fight, they pretty much swap it around. So even though it seems like the Sphere might be both of them, there are so many huge fights coming up on the rest of this year. And, starting in England next week, the Sphere, all these huge fight cards coming up. I wanted to look at which challenger had the most, maybe the most to gain out of all these. It all starts here in 2 weeks in England. I mean, when we got Leon Edwards and Tom Aspinall both putting their titles on the line in England in their hometown, I mean, there's so many things on the line. We've already broke it down from the champion's point of view, where how much Tom Aspinall has to lose. This man right now is arguably, the greatest heavyweight alive currently. And, the only way we're going to find out is if this man goes out there and beats a Curtis Blaydes, And if he does, you almost have the John Jones, the fight locked up, or whoever wins between John Jones and Stipe. You almost have everything locked up with if an Alex Pereira fight, if he comes up. So with all this on the line, clearly he has a lot to lose. But the thing that always kind of helps him a little bit is heavyweight, for the most part, John Jones old, Stipe's old. If they even do anything with Francis, he's getting old. Curtis Blaydes low-key getting a little old and long in the tooth now. So what? He's really got to go up against the Sergey Pavloviches, the Cyril Gans, the, Jailton Almeidas. Like, I really like the future for this man, Tom Aspinall. But if he does go out there and lose against Curtis Blaydes, I mean, that right there is detrimental to at least these major fights and these arguments of, oh, could he give John Jones a run? Is Alex Pereira the one to do it? Like, if he goes out there and loses to Curtis Blaydes, I mean, for Curtis Blaydes, this is massive. This is huge. I mean, I don't know if this is going to help your argument at all when it comes to, are you the GOAT or anything? But what really helps Curtis Blaydes is this man's been made fun of almost his entire career. I feel like he's always been picked apart. I mean, this guy has one of the most impressive careers out there at heavyweight, like one of the best resumes you've seen. But this man just somehow loses to the top hitters out there. He's lost to Sergey Pavlovich, he's lost to Derek Lewis, and he lost to Francis Ngannou twice. Like, that's legitimately his only losses. And you could make an argument. The man's been doing it in the UFC since 2016, almost 9 years now. And this guy, he goes on 5-fight winning streaks, 6-fight winning streaks, 7-fight winning streaks. And then every time that he's about to get that next step where the UFC can't deny him, even if he's boring or whatever he may be, then he gets knocked out by a Derek Lewis or a Sergey Pavlovich or Francis Ngannou again. So there's arguments for Curtis Blaydes that he could have had a title fight a couple years ago. But I mean, if he wins this one, it would just be huge, I guess, just to solidify, what he's been saying forever. And he's been out there calling for the John Jones fight forever. So it'd be interesting to see if he does somehow go out there and beat Tom Aspinall, which I know he already has a win, but it didn't feel like a win because it was 20 seconds or something, and Tom blew out his leg. So I mean, this is a huge fight for both guys, but for Curtis Blaydes to go out there and steal every little bit of hope that this man Tom Aspinall has, and all the momentum and everything he's got going on, this would be absolutely huge for Curtis Blaydes. And I guess, like I said, it would solidify, his career, make it a little more legit. Because I know fans like to kind of hate on this dude. And then in the same night, I mean, this might be the answer right here. This guy truly might be the most to gain here as a challenger. Belal Muhammad. I mean, for me personally, he's been one of my top 2 or bottom 2, whatever you want to say, least favorite fighters of all time. I love talking bad about the guy, and I hate talking bad about fighters. This is why I do this thing. I love hyping fighters up. I love, shouting out them and hopefully, giving you guys some, knowledge on them or whatever. You guys might love them too. But when it comes to Belal Muhammad, I've been such a hater on this guy. He's been one of the more boring fight styles I've ever seen. I personally just like fighters who go out there, and if they're going to talk the way that he talks, like, they go out there and just try to kill people. They're going to die on the sword or they're going to win with the sword. So when it comes to Belal, sometimes I feel like he kind of runs away from fights, and, you've seen it before where this man Leon Edwards put it on him and Belal was about to be out of there. So, I mean, if we're being honest here too, Belal Muhammad might be the most hated UFC fighter out there, and maybe a top 5. Just, I mean, go look at this whole thing that just went around. The man's, he was just on the JRE, Joe Rogan Experience, which all of those have millions and millions of views. And this guy's on there sitting there. I think he's got like 8,000 views or 9,000 views or something in like 20 days or something. 8 days he was on there or something. So like, that just shows how much people don't really like to watch him or anything. So if he's ever going to solidify his career, he's getting a little older. He's been out forever. He's been there since 2016, a lot like Curtis Blaydes. But, I mean, this is the only chance that he'll ever have at ever solidifying his career or anything. This man has, I don't know how many wins, 9 in a row, 10 fights unbeaten if you want to count the Leon Edwards fight. It's truly impressive, and he's only lost... he lost 2 times in 2016, and then he lost, in 2019, 2020, something like that, to Jeff Neal, and then the Leon Edwards fight. Like, he doesn't have many losses on his career, so it's just more so, I just don't think he's an absolute killer, but if he goes out there and takes out Leon Edwards, I mean, you've already heard Leon Edwards wants to either go up to 185 or, at least let, Islam come up and fight. Like, that. These would be major, major fights, and Belal Muhammad goes out there and win. He's got a lot to gain, I would say, especially on a guy, Leon, who just beat the two-headed dragon at 180 or 170 for so long, and Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington in back-to-back fights. So, I mean, Belal Muhammad really might have the most to gain here, especially maybe fans and whatnot if he goes out there and starches. But, I mean, he's got a lot to gain there. And we got these two that I think that you can kind of wipe them away, but depending on how you guys feel about it. When it comes to DDP and Izzy, and when it comes to Aaliyah Tapir and Max Holloway, there's arguments out there for both Izzy and Max Holloway where they're already arguably GOATs in their own right. Like 185 Izzy, for how dominant he was for so long. Like, does he really have much to lose here if he loses to DDP? Like, I get it. A lot of Izzy haters are going to talk bad about him, but I mean, this guy's legacy is already locked in. Hall of Fame's already locked in. I mean, at this point, if he goes out there and wins, I don't see him even trying to lap the competition again. So I think it would be more so building up big fights with maybe an Alex Pereira rematch, maybe move up to 205 again, maybe challenge all them guys like Yuri and Jamal Hill and all these dudes. But outside of that, I think this is just extra. This is just a cherry on top. Same with Max Holloway. I think Max right now, his star is as big as it's ever been. But for me, Max Holloway's been doing the thing forever. I mean, this guy has literally been doing it. So 2013, 2012 or something like that in the UFC? Like literally the year that I graduated high school, this man has been doing the damn thing. He's going on 13 years now. He's beaten Aldo twice. He's beaten everybody you could ever name. Honestly, it's so impressive. And if he goes out there and loses to Aaliyah Tapir, I mean, yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit because, this would be his chance to get that Volk fight back or whatever. But we just saw UFC 300. This man, Max Holloway, is marketable no matter what it is. He can go out there and fight. He can move up to 155 and put on a show with any one of these cats. If he loses to Aaliyah Tapir, most likely it's going to be a barn burner regardless. It's going to be fun to watch. So I really don't think Izzy and, Max Holloway have that much to lose. But then you got the awkward stuff like the Sean O'Malley Merab. For me, it's going to be a tough one because, like I said, Sean doesn't have much to lose in a loss against Merab. Like, I guess his star will dim a little bit. But I feel like for most of us MMA fans, we're going to know, like, hey, man, he just lost to a dude. Unless he gets starched or knocked out, like, most likely he's going to lose just getting grinded out for 5 rounds. We saw, like, we have witnessed Merab do this to Piotr Jan, Jose Aldo, everybody you can imagine. This dude does it to him. He just burns him, just kills him, just takes him out there, makes him like a fish out of water, and he just kills him with the grappling and the pace. So if that's the case, I mean, Merab's got a lot to gain just because, I mean, this man's Mexican fandom right now, he would just grow that even more. He's becoming a household name, low-key, as funny as it is. It could really, I think he has a lot to gain with a win over, Sean O'Malley. But I don't think Sean loses that much because you could always move him up to 45 or get that Corey Sandhagen fight or whatever because he's got so much beef out there and he's got so much marketability. So I don't think he's going to lose much in a loss to, in a 5-round grinded out, just got gassed out the entire time because he's getting pushed on and making an ugly fight that Merab does. So, but the one thing I will say about Merab, maybe not the most to gain, but I really think if we're looking at Belal, Curtis Blaydes, Izzy, Merab, Max, Stipe, Arman, like he might have the possibility for the longest title reign. I mean, I could see him winning for a while. Like Aljo was doing the thing. I mean, this man Merab, he has just got the pace for days, and that man, he doesn't care how ugly it looks. So, I mean, he has a chance to grind out 4 or 5, maybe 6 title defenses in a row, unless this man Chugashan knocks him out. So, it's tough with these. And then, clearly, the John Jones-Stipe fight, like, does Stipe really have much to gain here? I think the most Stipe's got to gain here is maybe the argument of the GOAT at heavyweight. He's already got the argument now, but this might solidify it. To be the first one to beat John Jones, like, it is absolutely massive, but these guys' career are almost to the end now. You could make an argument that John Jones is out of his prime, Stipe's out of his prime. These guys haven't fought in, 2 years already? Stipe's, 3-4 years, it feels like. And with this weird last-second news here of John Jones blowing out his pinky or whatever finger, like, I don't really know if any of these guys got anything to win. And then if we really look at the last one, this man Islam versus Arman Sarukian 2, this is where it gets tough here. Clearly, Arman's got a lot to win here. If you go out there and take out Islam, 155 is always one of the funnest fight, one of the divisions that are one of the funnest ever, just because it's so stacked. And to even say you're the king of that ever is just impressive. To look at who's been champion at 55, it's truly impressive. But the thing that there's built in with Islam here with this fight, it's a little different to me because he's already beat him. There could be an argument out there, oh, you caught me sleeping, I was lacking training, I didn't see the motivation in it, I've already beat you. Like, I don't know, there's just something weird with that fight where I can already see the all the arguments and all the excuses already out of the Islam camp. Oh, it's tough to get ready. He's already been saying it's tough to wake up for somebody you've already beat. So I don't know with this one. Arman's got a lot to win, but at the end of the day, Islam's been so dominant. I think you get that third fight, and then I think Islam comes back and wins it pretty impressively because he's going to have motivation this time. So I don't know, man. If we're really being honest here, I can't believe I'm saying it, but I think Belal Muhammad might have the most to gain. Honestly, he really might here because unless you guys are talking about Izzy and Max's like GOAT status, maybe getting them all the way up to that top 5 GOAT, maybe not even adjust their divisions because Max is already a top 2, top 3 GOAT of that division. Izzy's a top 2 GOAT. It's him and Anderson Silva. So maybe these wins, keep stacking the resume, maybe get that Volk fight back for Max, maybe get that, Alex Pereira fight back for Izzy. Like, yeah, those fights can maybe make them, pushed up to maybe one of the greatest of all time with the resumes these guys got. But for real, for being honest, from somebody who hasn't had anything, it's between Curtis Blaydes and Belal Muhammad in my book. You guys can make fun of me here, and I just have a weird feeling that, as great as Leon's looked, and I love Leon, I want Leon to do his thing. This just feels like one of them things for me in my life where, you hate on somebody for so long, and then they go out there and just prove you wrong, and they go out there and somehow beat, somebody like Leon Edwards, which you never had imagined. So I really think Belal has the most to win. To go from arguably the most boring fighter of all time to look at me now, I'm champion. I haven't lost in 10 fights. I was coming back on Leon. I don't care what y'all say. I was coming back, and now look at me. I beat him in the second fight. This could be amazing. This really could be amazing. So you guys let me know. And as always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. And let's go, baby. Let's go.